everybody, Aaron with Stage Fright Theater here. If you don't know us, we do Halloween-themed theater at a lot of spooky events. But lately we've been trying to highlight other spooky theater productions just to kind of be a good neighbor and pay it forward. So with that in mind, today is the first video in this series, and we are going to go to the Chance Theater in Anaheim, California, and I'm going to talk to the cast and the director of their production of Sweeney Todd. Check it out.
Realizing that there's a darkness in all of us.
I feel like this is the darkest production of it that I've done.
I think there are some depictions of madness in the show that are pretty unnerving.
Which is something kind of off-putting about that, but you know, at the same time you go, oh, did you really like, oh, I loved when you slit that guy's throat, you know, and you're like, yeah, that happened.
Hi, I'm James Michael McHale, and I'm the director of Sweeney Todd here at Chance Theater.
I'm Winston Peacock. I play Sweeney Todd, and I've done a lot of theater. I've been around for a while.
Hello, my name is Nia Ramsey Clark. I am playing Joanna Barker, and this is my first show at the Chance. I've seen their shows before and loved them, so I'm so excited to be working with them.
My name is Adam Leva. I'm playing Tobias Rag, and this is my second show at the Chance. I started last year. I did Rent here at the Chance. It was my first show. It was the best time of my life.
It is a little bit intimidating, but I'll say it's mostly exciting. Like, this is one of my all-time favorite musicals, and it's been a bucket list show to work on at some point. And so there is a little bit of the nerves of like, oh man, this is a big one. This is one I've wanted to do for a long time. I hope I don't mess it up, you know? But it's primarily just exciting. Yeah.
And Sweeney in particular has been on my radar for a really, really long time. It's just one of those dark, brooding roles that you just kind of has that light comedy to him. It's just one of those golden roles that you just hope that you get to play at least once in your lifetime. So yeah, I love that role.
To, you know, make sure I was on top of my game to perform it in the way, not only the way it's expected to be performed and at that level, but in a way that really communicated what I wanted to communicate with her, which is not what I feel like is usually done.
Especially because it's been around for a while, and so a lot of, you know, theater fans know it well, and you don't want to disappoint anybody, especially longtime fans of really great work. This show is so cool, and I didn't even know, you know, until I got into it, like, oh my god, this music is incredible, and the message of the show is really impactful and long-lasting. But it's absolutely intimidating, especially when you have friends who it's their favorite show and they're gonna come see it. Yeah.
I think I identify with a lot of the characters in the show. Maybe not all of them, but most of them I do identify with in some way. And I think that's one of the things that's interesting about the show, is that even some of the people you, at times, it makes you question, like, I shouldn't be identifying with this person right now, but why am I? This show kind of forces you to do that. And I think that's really fascinating.
People go into certain iconic roles, I feel, and come in a predisposed judgment. You know, people go, I've seen the movie Sweeney Todd. I'm expecting Johnny Depp. Then you come in and it's nothing like Johnny Depp.
One thing I really like about Joanna and roles like her is she's a very feminine character, and I think she often is played or perceived as this kind of frail, feminine, a little flighty person. I feel like people don't always bring a lot of depth to Joanna, and something I really like about her and characters like her is bringing that, is making her more fully realized and trying to show the audience that femininity and gentleness, but also the ways in which she's a survivor, and a little more hardcore when she has to be, especially. She goes through a lot, and it takes a strong person to go through that and survive, including literally escaping like death very closely. So I really like exploring that part of her.
But I didn't think too much about it until I actually got the part and was like, oh, I gotta know what's going on. And then I realized, especially over the course of our rehearsals, like how sweet he is. I thought he was just kind of this kid that's there, and this is all happening around him, but it's kind of, I think you connect with him, and I didn't realize you would until I started doing the thing. I think that's what I like about him, is you kind of root for him.
I think one of the things that's different about the show is some of the physicality in the show, some of the movement in the show. It was a real goal of mine and of the teams to physicalize some of the madness in particular, and take some of the internal life of the show and externalize it in physical movement, in some grotesque movement and things like that. There's some metaphor choices that we've made, there's some visceral choices we've made with design and movement combined. So I think there's a real interesting sort of physical life, and the way we've brought some of the internal world external is going to be very interesting and unique for this production. Another thing is, like, a lot of the design elements are some really bold choices that were made, including some beautiful and effective projections. Projections aren't often used in the show. I'm sure they've been used plenty of times before, but very rarely. I don't know that if I've seen a production of the show locally that's used projections before. Maybe it's happened, but so that's a unique element that we're adding to it as well.
The director was so genius in making it a fresh take, that I feel like a lot of people who are loyal to the Sweeney history might be surprised, either for the good or maybe they won't like it. But I hope they do like it. Yeah. I mean, I'm a diehard Sweeney fan, and there were some moments when he was telling us stuff and I went, but I see where he comes from, and the loyalist in me goes, you know what, this is actually a little bit better than what I was loyal to.
We're playing with this idea of lunatics and this idea of them telling the story, but also talking about like homelessness and like classism and just this machine that people live in that kind of chews them up and spits them out, and how people at different levels run the machine and get to make the choices for the machine. And something also kind of unique about this production is that there are only 9 of us, and doing the work of the principals and the ensemble. So we're trying to communicate all of these ideas with very few people, and I think somehow we have done that successfully, which is to our credit, and I think very much to James. And I think that is unique. We're not just living in the world of the show, the time period in which it's set, but also in these like really big thematic ideas, and I think doing it pretty well. Something else unique about it is the movement. We have an amazing choreographer, Mo, and there's so much movement and dancing that I didn't expect even when I was cast, but it's been a really pleasant surprise for me. And the dancing helps with the themes we're trying to communicate, of these like lunatics and craziness and like struggle and suffering, and I haven't seen that ever for a production of Sweeney Todd, so it's been really, really cool to explore.
He has absolutely put his own spin on it, in the ways in which we kill in this show is, as far as I know, totally unique. And also the way our theater is set up. Normally Sweeney Todd is done with a pretty tall set, since there's the barbershop and then there's the pie shop below. We don't have the means for that, so we've done something a little different, and I think it's very exciting and cool. It's a unique way of representing bodies going down to the basement.
So if everyone's doing it like it's originally written, it gets pretty stale. And for him to, and his bold moves aren't like crazy changes or anything like that. They're just staged differently, which is just, it's really good. Anybody should go see it because it's awesome.
God, the music is stunning. It's literally some of the most gorgeous songs I've ever heard from theater, and that alone is reason enough for me. But other reasons, I think, shockingly to me, a show from almost 40 years ago or a little bit more, it has themes that are absolutely relevant to today, which you wouldn't think about when you think of Sweeney Todd, and I think what first comes to mind is killing people and maybe meat pies. But there's a really stirring message behind those killings and those meat pies that I think is always going to stay relevant.
With the movement we're doing and with how close physically we can get to the audience, we're trying to drive that home and connect, like, our story is yours and our suffering is how you suffer as well. So which is really fun as an actor because we, get the opportunity to get so close to try to scare the audience, to, get in their space, not too much, but just enough to drive our points home and kind of freak them out. And the intimacy of the space really lends itself to that, and we're using it.
The music's phenomenal. We've got a really just dynamic, exciting cast, singers and performers. Our design team has made some really bold, beautiful, visceral, exciting choices. And so it's got so much. It's got great music, it's got some scares, it's got some laughs, it's got some real drama and tragedy. So it's such a full, rich experience in a unique environment with some new, fresh choices that you haven't seen before. So I think there's a lot of reasons to come see it.
By the time this video is released, the Chance Theater will have already opened. Their production of Sweeney Todd runs right now through August 11th, 2024. Get your tickets, check them out right now. If you've already missed that window, you're watching this video a little later, check out their website anyway. They have fantastic productions all the time. Also, please like and subscribe this video, and check us out on social media at Stage Fright Theater. We keep you posted on lots of spooky theater productions, as well as auditions for those of you who are aspiring actors out there. And that'll do it for this video, so until next time, support your local scare actor.